This is the cat lady. Time is not going to start when I hit new game, it'll start when I gain control of the character, so let's just go ahead and start this off. We start with a really boring cutscene that we're just going to skip. It basically involves the main character killing themselves. Cool. So yeah, this is a pretty dark game. If you didn't get it by that initial description, this game has a lot of horror elements and some gore and some references to suicide and murder. So if any of that is triggering for you, then maybe don't watch this. And 3, 2, 1. Alright, so this is chapter 1. There's 7 chapters in the game, and each of them is pretty different from the others. Chapter 1 is basically just in this sequence field and then some other places, but, well, you'll see. So this main character that we see is Susan. She likes cats. She doesn't like much else at this point, so yeah, let's help her become a better person. Oh, I hit the wrong thing. Okay. There. This game is text and keyboard based, so pretty rudimentary controls, but in terms of a speed game, there are some things that can make it a little annoying. Some options are very, very long, and some options are very, very short, and you've just got to find the right one to advance the story. And it's not always the one you think. Alright, so you may have seen me stutter step there a little bit. Sometimes, in certain points throughout the game, after these points where I lose control of the character, such as that jumping sequence there, I will, if I just keep holding down the directional button, I won't move the character at all. So I have to kind of do a stutter step movement before the scene transitions back to my control, so that I can control the character again. It's a lot of little finicky things with this game. All right, so if you missed it, we just saw our own dead body coming out of an EMS cart. And now we're following this mystery deer. Things are looking up. Okay, that's a little weird imagery. I wonder what could be next. Well, that's our own hanging dead body. So, we're a little traumatized by that, so we're just going to leave it alone for now.
I can't remember this place. Am I lost?
Oh, that's not good. I don't like it when those screen transitions do that. So, in this sequence, it's kind of a weird puzzle, and a really confusing puzzle if you're first playing this game. You basically need to guide the bird over to a certain point. And then from there, we get to this scene. And we get this knife. And we can unbolt the door. From there, we use the knife, cut the body down, and get the shiny thing around her neck. So now we have 2 keys, which conveniently open 2 doors. And we see our only, well, the first other person in this game, which we assume is Death. She actually goes by the Queen of Maggots, which isn't much better.
What will happen?
Oh, come on. I'm holding down the space bar in order to skip text, but it overrides any other inputs, and any other inputs override it, so kind of finicky.
No.
Alright.
Yeah.
This next part is just a matter of choosing the right text things to say so you don't get stuck in conversation the whole time.
What's it? What? Oh. No. So
Come on. There.
no.
Okay, now we're going to an entirely different place. What are we gonna see there? I'll give you 3 guesses. It's our own dead body. Okay, there is another little bit of a weird glitch in this game where sometimes the text boxes don't clear by a single input, so in those cases I have to sometimes double or triple hit the button, or else it just eats all of the inputs. So we're going to blow out this candle, and instead of seeing our own dead body, we're going to see somebody else die. Look at this. Some nice horror for your morning. Text skip. And just like that, we have control of the character again. So now we have a key and a crowbar. I wonder what we're going to do with these things. Maybe open a door and then open something else. These games follow pretty logical puzzles, usually. There's very rare moments in the game where it's less about logic and more about what the developer was thinking when he made the puzzle. And I think the logical puzzles are kind of a little bit of the draw to this game, along with the horror elements and the whole atmosphere of it. It's pretty cool. And we're going to push this button in this conveniently arm-shaped hole. Oh no! It was too conveniently arm-shaped. Alright, we're going to run around for a little bit. Gonna pour some blood on this machine, which miraculously starts working. And the music crescendos. That one's a weird one. Alright, so that's the end of Chapter 1. Kind of weird, I know. We were dead for most of the time. So, title sequence, hooray! Oh, sub 930, really? Cool. That was pretty fast. So we've got these really convenient chapter things, which even if you haven't played the game before, will tell you how many chapters are in the game. Chapter 2 takes place in a hospital and goes forward between a couple sequences. There's a psychiatry sequence, there is a sequence in a hospital bed. And we get to meet a few interesting people, which we're going to skip because it's a speedrun.
Oh.
What made me speedrun this game? That's an interesting question, and not one I was just prompted to ask. I really like speedrunning text-based games and really simplistic games, and I like horror stuff too. I've got a pretty dark sense of humor, so this goes nicely with that. This game, I just kind of played it from my friend's recommendation, and from there decided I wanted to speedrun it, looked at the leaderboard and saw that one other person had done it, and then said I can do that faster. So that was my story of speedrunning Cat Lady. Yeah. Alright, so this is Liz, and the trick with Liz is you have to tell her the truth. And not offend her, either. And we'll see why at the end of this chapter. Alright, so we're going to go from this back to the psychiatry scene. Gonna tell the psychiatrist a little bit about our family history. Just a little bit. Not much at all. Just pictures of our mom and dad, really. Okay, and we're back here. So we got a little bit of a puzzle to solve, like any good puzzle game. Gonna take a lot of gloves. Cards tell us we can't go yet because we committed suicide. That was the thing we did. So they're keeping us under watch until a psychiatrist gets here. Alright, so we get this convenient person here, and we're just going to skip right past him for now because we don't need him right now. What we are going to do is go to the bathroom. Okay. So this sink tap is on a timer, so I'm going to do that first. And just wait around here for a couple seconds. I've already got all the stuff I need in this room. So I'm going to wait for this timer. There we go. Now, if it was your first time playing this game, you probably would not have gotten that on your first try. Some of these puzzles take a few times around the maze, if you will, in order to really get them. I'm just taking as many shortcuts as I can because I already know it. I should say, if you are interested in running this as a speed game, I mean, it's kind of a niche game, really, but if you are interested in running this or any other text-based game, any other horror game, anything like that, then I would strongly recommend it. There is not enough people who run this type of game, and so there's it's kind of underrepresented here. Hup. There. No, dude. Oh, come on. Yeah, sometimes these are a little finicky too, where you have to be standing in a certain position in order to interact with a certain thing. So that lost me about 10 seconds there. Alright, so we got that red fluid. That's all we need in this dream sequence. Or drug sequence, whatever. And we say to ourselves, we're not going to let them drug us again.
Hi.
So we're going to talk to this person.
Yeah.
We're going to tell her the name that was on the wall that we solved in that puzzle. And she's going to say, if you give me some of that red liquid that I don't know that you have yet,
Yes.
I'll trade wristbands with you and you can get out of here. There. So now we're free to go. Now we've just got to distract the nurse. So we're going to provide a distraction. Ah. There we go. Whatever your nurse likes in a hospital toilet, when somebody shoves gloves down it and overflows it. Of course, really, this hospital is not looking too clean right now. So, of course, it's the nurse that does it, not any sort of maintenance person. Alright, so nurse distracted, and we're free to go. Just going to conveniently pick up one of these discharge letters and go past the guards. Hooray! We made it through. We're on our way, guys. We're gonna totally get out of here. No, we're not. So this is what starts the psychiatry scene.
Now?
Alright. Bunch of question and answer stuff. Doesn't really matter what we pick here. So I just go with the first option because it's fastest.
I
Do that.
is I it I but
So this section is kind of interesting. It shows that the developer was trying to get the character to write their own backstory for Susan,
I went
her likes and dislikes and things like that, to make them, I guess, a little more connected to the character. And it kind of works. By the end of this game, you get pretty endeared to Susan. Alright, so now Liz, this nice nurse that we were really nice to, is helping us escape. except not really. There's a little glitch here, and even though it takes longer, I'm going to show it off. What I was doing there was I was holding down the directional button as I was hitting that trigger, so it actually kept me moving towards the wall, basically, and I had to backtrack all the way. Little glitches in this game that you find from running it so often. Alright, so we're up on the roof, and we don't know what's going on because Liz just led us up here. Now Liz is all bloody and she's standing on the edge of the roof. This doesn't look good. So, we're going to tell her exactly what happened in that story that she told us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh no. Well, rip Liz. I guess we were nice to her for nothing. Eh? I'm a very bad liar. So, yeah. Okay, so the reason that Dr. X, which is this guy, the reason he asked us about that is because Liz has been dead for a number of years, and he's convinced that our ghost was her ghost was talking to us. And he can't have it slip out that he's actually a serial killer. So he's gonna kill us too. A lot. So we're dead again. Oh well. Okay, so we're gonna go down this really weird looking theater place. Hello, giant floating eyeball in a TV screen. And hello, creepy dolls. And this is a standard, like, fork in the road riddle right here. And we're actually going to go through the wrong door because it skips a scene, and we can go right to here. So we purposefully got that puzzle really wrong. So we blew out another candle, we watch another person die, and I guess we're assuming their life force now, so we get to live again. Yeah, this game is kind of dark. Pretty dark, in fact. So, we're just going to walk here. This is another point in the game that can get kind of finicky because once you do this, you have to kind of shimmy a couple steps before you can interact with anything, or else the game just won't let you. So I did a little shimmy, and I opened up this body bag. Whose body is going to be in it, guys? Oh, it's us. Who saw that coming? So, yeah, we're alive again. Dr. X has been killing a lot of people. So, there's usually a scene of us gathering a bunch of tools and supplies and then killing Dr. X before leaving, but because we were super nice to Liz, she left us the key to get out. So we're just going to bypass all of that, save about 15-20 minutes, and we're just going to leave. And that's chapter 2. Chapter 3 is pretty short, but it has these really weird poetic sequences where the character is standing on a bridge and somebody's reading out a poem. And I mean, it's really nice and pretty and kind of sweet and endearing, and we're just going to skip most of it. So we'll get these empty bridge sequences from time to time, and I'm just skipping all of the text, which would usually be over top here. We get a really quick introduction to where Susan lives, which is this old dingy apartment building. I'm just going to take this hat. I like hats. So we get a little bit of instruction in this one. In the top left corner, you'll see that it tells us to take a shower. There's also a little bit of a weird mechanic in this chapter with red gauges and green gauges. Come on. So if our red gauge hits the top, we have a mental breakdown. And if the green gauge, which will appear in a moment, reaches the top, then we'll have a good night's sleep. Up. Alright, so we're just gonna put a whole bunch of stuff on this weird laundry rack for later, and put money outside the flat. There's our green gauge. So, conveniently enough, it is a lot faster to fill up our green gauge and have a good night's sleep. It's a lot faster to do that than to fill up the red gauge, because you have to have a certain amount of interactions, and doing that will fill up your green gauge. This won't come up in any of the other chapters, by the way. Each chapter is pretty unique and individual. Alright, so we've had a shower. Now it's telling us we need food. So let's make some coffee. Coffee is food, right? Oh man, I could really go for a coffee right now, actually. After the run, I can have coffee. No. Alright, so Susan likes her coffee with milk.
Nap.
And we've got this microwavable cheeseburger. I'm just going to put it in for 60 seconds. Seems pretty rudimentary, right? Not very exciting, this part of the game. Alright. So, I'm gonna go over to the balcony here.
This down.
There's a bird there, but our scarecrow that we made it go away. Alright, so we're gonna eat this burger. And then if we click on the cigarettes and smoke them, then we automatically have the coffee as well. Don't do drugs, kids, by the way. Smoking is very bad for you. Yeah, so now we're pretty content with ourselves. Gonna get another one of these scenes. And we've got one more thing left to do for Susan to be super happy. And that is summon her favorite friends. So we're going to play the piano and summon some cats. And this is usually my get up, take a break, take a stretch cutscene. Alright, now we've got our army of cats. We're gonna go outside, put down some food for them. Gonna talk to our favorite cat for a second. Favorite little kitterino. And there's a knock at the door. So now we learn about the nosy neighbor who is really, really unhappy with us playing the piano. In fact, he's so unhappy that he's straight out really rude to us, so we're gonna be rude to him right back. And being rude to the neighbor makes Susan's green bar go all the way to the top, so she's gonna have a really nice, good night's sleep. I should say something right now about this game's soundtrack, because it is really, really nice. It has a really nice atmospheric feel to it, and then with these little sequences where there's sung lyrics on top, it's really adds a lot to the ambience. And yeah, all in all, a really, like, this is a good game. If you haven't played it or tried it and you like this kind of game, then definitely try it. I am not spoiling even half of the stuff in this game in this run, so yeah, try and figure out the puzzles for yourself. Super fun. And it's my next, the next chapter is my favorite chapter coming up here, so. So that was chapter 3. Chapter 4 starts off with a small scene. Yeah, so we see a creepy pest control van and we see a creepy house. Good morning, Tech. And we see the dude in the pest control van. What's he carrying out of his van? It's a human body. Wow. I could have never guessed that this game was going to turn that dark. Got some creepy, scary imagery here. Spooky. Creepy. Gross. And we're at home. Okay, we're gonna go answer the door. And we're gonna meet one of the other main characters in this game, which is Mitzi. And Mitzi is another very endearing character. Ah, that was the wrong option. Dude. I think this is the right one. Yes. So some of these options take a lot of time, some of them don't, but
I'm not. You care. What?
Mitzi says that she was the one who took us to the hospital because she broke into our apartment and found us lying there. So that was a stroke of luck. Thanks, Mitzi. Now she's saying she wants a room. She wants to rent our spare room. So
Well,
we're going to ask her a bunch of questions.
yeah.
Are you part of that emo lifestyle?
No.
Alright, so we're pretty sure that she's gonna pay us money for rent and stuff, but we suddenly see a ghostly apparition of the Queen of Maggots. And we're like, oh no. So now Susan is convinced that
Go away.
she's cursed and Mitzi is going to die. So she tells Mitzi she's going to die. And Mitzi's like, I know. Dun dun dun. Yeah, that's the big reveal of this chapter. Not really, but of this part. Alright, so we go from that scene, which kind of ends on a really low note. We go right to this scene, where there's blood and a guy in a gas mask, and we're chained to a table. Not our best moment, not our finest moment. So we're going to slowly regain consciousness.
What's the matter?
We're going to tell him off. And then a murder clown comes in. I'm assuming it's his wife, but it's a murder clown. Yeah. There's no way around it, really. So Murder Clown is going to come up to us. We're going to tell her off. And she's like, oh, that's kind of rude. I'm going to pour bleach on your face. So she pours bleach on our face. And I think that was rude. That was the rude thing in that situation. And now, one of the best sequences in the game, we're going to play as a cat. Going to play as this Kitterino. So we're going to get down from this, there we go, and we escape. And a bit of a platforming sequence here. So we see what they've done to Susan. It's very sad. Alright, and the cat usually has to stutter step between sequences, so... yeah. We're gonna go over here, and we get another scene. So dude comes back in, he's like, oh no, my wife poured bleach on your face. That must really suck. Here, I'm gonna give you this gun, and it's got one bullet in it, so if you want, you can, like, end your suffering. And he puts it down where we can't reach it. And he's like, oh well, tough luck. So we know that these guys are sadistic killers now. Now we've got more cat sequences. Alright. Now this next part I need to do in one cycle. And I can only do that if I'm very quick. Got it. So we're going to spit out the key into Susan's mouth now. Or into Susan's hand, rather. That would make sense. Alright, so Susan had bleach poured over her face. So she's blind. Come on. Thank you. So she's like, okay, really the only way out of this is to shoot myself and then go through another puzzle and then come back again. So that's what we're going to do. Oh. Oh, okay. Cool. Well, debated. So here we learn a little bit more about Mitzi.
Silver's great.
But first we're gonna get some wine. So we got wine glasses. We got a corkscrew.
I found some.
All right. So in this sequence, we're just asking questions, getting responses, and there's no real quick way through this one. So in here, Mitzi explains that she's here trying to find her boyfriend's murderer. And she's pretty sure that he lives in this building, in this apartment building. So we're going to ask about the boyfriend. Bless you. Okay, so in this sequence we learn that Mitzi's boyfriend was not directly murdered, but just somebody on the internet told him to kill himself. So, no bully, guys. I know you in Twitch chat. No bully. Be nice to each other. 'Cause words hurt sometimes. So yeah, this is a sequence, a flashback of Mitzi finding her boyfriend. And basically he filled his car up with poisonous gas that this guy on the internet told him how to make. Alright, so we're alive. And we've got our vision back, which is super great. So we're going to take this and then head upstairs. See exactly what we're dealing with here. Ooh, I see a knife. Let's take a knife. Ooh, I see a painting. Let's take a painting, guys. Let's appreciate some art. Alright, and over here we see a box of bleach. So we grab some bleach. So now we're recalling that Mitzi told us that one of the ingredients for that poison was bleach. I don't think this is an actual poison, by the way. I don't think you can actually make this. Don't try it, though. Alright, cats are in trouble, so we're gonna go help them out. Wow, it's super foggy out here. I wonder what could happen. Oh look, it's the pest control guy. Okay. He kidnapped us. That's what happened. This is how we got back to here. Alright. So we're gonna take this rag. You see we have bathtubs full of weird goo. So we're gonna use that. Grab a key. Go all the way back out here. Can go outside. Gonna use this knife to pry off a loose brick. Gonna use this painting to cover up this small window. Gonna use the spare key to open the van. Search the back of the van to get that gas mask. And even though we just used the spare key, we're gonna break the window anyway. We're gonna take this cell phone. Oh, look, a cell phone. Let's call for help. Can't remember our own phone number. Sweet. So, let's just take some light bulbs instead. Okay. And as we go in here... Well, not here, but next room. Put in a lamp. Find our phone number. Another lamp over here. Got their phone number. So we're going to make a quick call.
What?
We're going to get Mitzi to tell us the name of that other chemical. Cool. Right, so now we're going back over to this dining room table. What we're going to do is we're going to call their house. So that phone starts ringing. We get under the table. And we see creepy murder clown going to get the phone. Ooh, the music got a little more upbeat. That's exciting. It means we're doing something right. Okay. There. Not gonna deal with anything else that's in there. Alright, so usually we would duck back under this table and watch Murder Clown go all the way back across that room. But that's a little too slow for us. So we're going to just come over here, get caught by Murder Clown, and die. Which brings us right back to this room. So we're going to put on this gas mask. We're going to pour some bleach in this bucket. We're going to shift forward 2 centimeters because the game doesn't want us to do this all in one go. Pour that other chemical in. Alright, this guy's dead and we've got a gun. So we're going to moida the moidors. Haha. I said it funny. I said it in a funny voice. Does that make me funny? Please like me. Alright, so we're gonna go in here. Oh, she's not here. Okay. Where is she? That was kind of a creepy moment for people when they first played that game.
Do you know what I've seen? Do you know where I've been?
So now we get one of the coolest action shots in the game.
I've been for the broken machine.
And that was chapter 4. Alright, so we're back home. We walked home from Murder House. Mitzi was super worried about us. Tells us to go take a bath and chill out. So hopefully I'm going to cause the game to do a little bit of a glitch here, which is super fun. Instead of taking a bath in the bathtub, we're going to take a bath in empty space. There we are. And that is the same sort of glitch as the elevator glitch in Chapter 2 as well, just holding down the directional button while hitting the trigger. So we go through a whole bunch of these sequences and have some really nice long talks with Mitzi about each other and getting to know each other, and they're becoming fast friends, and that's nice. And it looks like Susan is finally recovering. Alright, so flash forward, it's been a few weeks. We're going to sit down and have a nice talk, and Mitzi is going to tell us about her plan for catching this murderer. So we're going to tell her basically everything we know about the people who live here. So Mitzi says something about children. Susan gets very angry. She breaks a cup and there's a whole lot of drama, but there's no time for that because somebody is at the door. So let's go see who's at the door now. Oh, look, flowers. He doesn't look too creepy. Maybe he's a... Oh, no, that's a hammer in his other hand. Okay. Alright. Cool. Just like everything else in this game, this is incredibly dark. And we're dead. So, because we're dead, we have to do another puzzle. Of course. And this one's a little more complicated than the other ones. So what we're going to do, we're going to go over... Oh no, our path is blocked. Oh no, the other path is blocked. Gonna figure out a very complicated puzzle. Gonna unlock this door. Blow out a candle. And then you say, great, we can be alive again, right? We solved the puzzle? Not quite. That's about half of it. Alright, so we still gotta... Up. Break that wall. Gonna go here. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're going to use that. No, dude. I messed up. Operate. And we see that that moves that Shadow Susan closer to this. So we're going to take this lever. And you've probably figured out by this point that it's kind of a simple puzzle. Up. Okay, what do we do now? Well, we found one of these levers in this main panel, so let's put one back in and operate it. See what happens. Oh no! Looks like Shadow Susan is gonna die. Okay, we've got one more thing to do in this puzzle before we can be alive again. We see another Shadow Susan and we see a monster. So we're gonna stab him. Okay. Gonna go over here. And if you weren't sure about how I got that padlock combination, there you go.
I'm finally here. What have I won?
So this part can't really do anything to speed it up. It's pretty well timed. So yeah, I'm doing okay. Doing okay for time here.
Not a single sound reaches my ear. Well, maybe it's this vacuum. I stick my head in.
All right, and just like that, we're alive. Kind of. We're tied up in the bathtub. Super. So the trick in this
So,
is to not ask about the lockpicks, because that takes way too long. Alright, so that didn't do much of anything.
like,
Just gonna skip right along to a really nice flashback scene where we learn a little bit more about why Susan is depressed in the first place.
okay.
So this is a little more trippy. We see a younger Susan. She's wearing color, which is nice. We see we've got these flowers. Where can we hide the flowers? Oh, we see a baby's crib. Susan had a child. That's so nice. Nice, wholesome, nice family scene. And here's our Susan's
You're back.
husband. He's kind of angry.
Yeah.
And this is not new for Susan. He's kind of angry all the time. So we're like, okay, let's calm down. Let's have a drink of wine. You know, it's all going to be cool. It's all going to be okay.
Shit.
If it
So we're going to get the phone again. Okay. Now we're explaining to Mitzi how that relationship was falling apart.
I left.
And while they're outside arguing, they're getting a little loud. They don't notice that the window is open and that their baby starts coughing. And trigger warning, this is really sad, by the way. Turns out the baby has a pollen allergy. Super sad. Moral of the story, take care of your children and be nice to your spouses. Because, yeah. Otherwise you end up severely depressed, like Susan. So that's a little dark, but we're still in this bathtub, so what do we do? We're just going to wait here for a few seconds, obviously. Oh no, that murderer's still in the house. Alright, so we see that he took Mitzi. That's not a good sign. Because, you know, we're Susan. We can come back to life. Mitzi, not so much. Alright. Now he's coming for us. So we're gonna go over into the living room here and see a scene that is not really that good for us. Not really to our advantage here. Do I get scream skip here? I do! I got the scream skip. There is a second scream here. Doesn't really save that much time, it's just fun to say. So, murderer guy wants us to play the piano, which is actually not in his best interest. Because, as we know, Susan is a cat lady, and when she plays the piano, the cats come running. Bless you. Alright. So, now the cats are murdering him. They're... okay. Cool. I mean, it helps. Thank you, cats. But Mitzi slips off the chair, so we gotta go help her. Thank you. Oh, pull up. Alright. So we're gonna go get some scissors and take her down. Susan looks really badass in this scene because Mitzi's like, oh, I was so scared, I was about to die, and oh my god, the cats are eating his face, and Susan's just like, don't look at him, Mitzi. Maybe a little less dramatic than that, but yeah. And that's chapter 5. So now, this is the longest chapter of the game, and I have such a hard time remembering this. Do you have your notes open? I will maybe ask you for them. I may not need them, but we'll see. I've got my wife here on the couch behind me, by the way. She's super supportive and great. Yeah. Shout out to Mrs. Kyon. Alright, so now we're gonna try and find the murderer in this building. No, it wasn't that dude. It's another dude, another murderer in the building. Okay, so we can now use Mitzi to pick locks. So that's really handy. So this is a very long sequence. We're solving like 10 puzzles at once. And, yeah. Really hard to remember all the steps, but we'll see
Hello
if we
there.
can get it.
What? The-
So this old man is not really telling us much.
Huh?
So we're pretty sure he lives alone and that he's not a serial killer. So he's out. Gonna take a trip down to the ground floor. Oh look, there's this dog lady. We don't like her. But we're gonna smell these flowers. When we smell the flowers, the pot breaks. Oh, look at that. That's kind of a bad omen, isn't it? Well, anyways, we're going to take a piece of the broken vase. And we're going to go up to the first floor. Gonna use that broken piece of vase to open up this sofa, reach inside, see why the cats are all surrounding it. It's because there's some valerian root extract in there. Gonna go over here. I'm gonna pour the valerian on the rag. We're gonna put the rag on the radiator. We're going to walk away to conveniently clear the scene of the radiator. Where did all the cats go? Conveniently, they're on the radiator. Look at that. Alright, so we'll go back down to the ground floor here. And let's talk to this dog lady. She goes to check on her dog because he's making a horrible racket. And he runs outside after the cats. Alright, so we're gonna get Mitzi to pick the lock on this mailbox. So we can read people's mail. But she tells us she can't do it with us looking, so we're gonna take this broom and go over here. All right. So Susan at this point is like, I bet you I'm strong enough to push this cabinet out of the way. No idea what's behind it. Oh, look, it's a door. Cool. And Mitzi's like, wow, Susan, you are strong enough to move that cabinet. That's really cool. This is almost the end of our first long sequence here.
What the?
Okay. We see that this young mother is looking for a babysitter, so we're going to pose as a babysitter in order to inspect her house and make sure she's not a serial killer.
I've heard.
Except, as we've seen, Susan is really uncomfortable with babies at this point. So Mitzi's doing most of the talking. And then Mitzi says something along the lines of, I don't want to hold a baby, they're gross. So neither of them want to be a babysitter, but they've got to pose as babysitters.
Tell me.
She says, "Do you want to hold the baby?" And Mitzi's like, "No, thank you." Why?
Oh.
I pet a dog and it was kind of dirty, so I'm not gonna. So they're gonna go wash their hands, and we're gonna go answer the door. Nope, can't go that way first. Okay. This is the actual babysitter who showed up. We're gonna tell her that she's got the wrong house.
Oh.
Or the position's been taken. That's the one. Okay. Either or. She goes away. Okay. Inspect her apartment. And what kind of mother leaves a pair of scissors right next to a baby? That's just irresponsible. All right, so the door is being knocked out again, so we have to make up another excuse for Mitzi not to hold the baby. And Susan's going to go to open the door again. It's that same babysitter, whose name is Rita Tinkle something. Anyways, it doesn't matter. She's kind of a minor character. She's not going to be around anymore. Well, she's around for one more scene, but we really only see her silhouette. So we're going to shut off the electricity. We're going to cut the wire. That forces the young mother out of her apartment, so we're gonna go inspect her laptop, make sure she's not a serial killer. She's not a serial killer, so we just did this for absolutely no reason. So, let's go. Alright, so we're going to go back to the fourth floor. Fourth floor? Okay, cool, I'm on track. We're going to search this other apartment. We'll see if this guy's a serial killer. Oh, look, he's got some spooky, scary masks and stuff. He's not a serial killer, he's just a nerd. Cool. So we're going to drop this extension cord down there. Now we've got to find something to plug it into. So we know there's an empty apartment here, but we're going to go check out this apartment first from the dog lady. See if the dog lady is a serial killer. Nope, just a grumpy old dog owner.
Look.
So we know that there's nobody in this apartment right now. Mitzi again says she won't pick the lock with us looking. Okay, this is looking a little creepier, but maybe it's just nobody's lived here in a while, right? Gonna take that. Gonna use this broom to knock down that cat from the hole in the floor. Why is there a hole in the floor? Okay, so we found a key. Well, this apartment's definitely empty, but before we go, we'll have a short scene which will conveniently put us right in the very spot that we need to plug in this extension cord. So now we're going to go... You're right. You're absolutely right. Thank you. And we see that this key is for this door. Okay, this is looking a little more serial killer-y. Little bit. Let's see. A little weird. There's still that hole in the floor. Okay, that can't be a good sign. Alright, so Mitzi's like, I'm gonna go and get something from the other room. You stay here. Alright, so, chat, I want you to think of a vegetable while Mitzi is gone. And when Mitzi comes back, we'll see if that vegetable is the right vegetable.
That damn...
So we try and leave because we're really creeped out by this place. But the doorknob falls off in our hand. So, what do? Let's go back here.
That damn hole. Nearly forgot about it this time.
I'm going to use this doorknob on this door. And enter here. Mannequin in a bathtub. That's not ominous at all. Alright, so we found a power lead. But the owner of the apartment is now home. So, this is pretty
What
creepy.
the-
So this guy's like, what are you doing in my house? You're not supposed to be here. Why are you here? And he seems like a little bit of a psychopath. So
Who are you?
And
but maybe he's just a really protective homeowner. We don't know.
I w-
Oh no, we forgot about the hole in the floor, and we're dead. Yeah, it's a pretty big running theme in this game. Alright, rather short puzzle this time. So we've just got to open these doors in a specific order. And for anybody who doesn't know this order, you can just look on the game's original soundtrack, which I think comes with the game, or maybe you can order it as well. And this song that's playing right now is titled Devil Came Through Here. So, there's that. So we're just going to bypass this really weird scene here. Going to talk to this really weird looking old woman. She's going to twitch a little bit. So we're going to go back out here. Wow, inside the book there's a screwdriver. I wonder what the screwdriver's for. Maybe for this panel. Nope. There. And that's the puzzle. Hooray. We solved it. So there are two options here. The character known as Jim Davis, no relation, tells us that he tells us to kill his wife or he's going to kill us. And it's way faster for him to kill us. And we're back here. Pretty convenient, right? Alright, so I told you guys to think of a vegetable. What vegetable did you think of? Because the answer is... carrot.
Yeah.
Or at least like 2 or 3, I guess. Currently.
Nice. Alright, so just a couple more things. We've got 2 flats left, so we're gonna take a small detour. So, remember, we had this thing where we were plugging in his computers to down below. So now Mitzi's gonna inspect his computer, see if he's a serial killer or just a bit of a nerd. Nope, no serial killer here. He just plays a lot of PUBG. Kappa Kappa. Alright. I'm gonna go down to the 3rd floor and pick up one more thing. So we've only got one apartment left, and it is the guy, the grouchy neighbor, if you remember him, who called animal control on us. So we're gonna play a little bit of a prank on him. Oh, come on. And these positional things are kind of weird. Alright. We see a dress here. Susan's got an idea. So we're going to play a little bit of a prank on him. And this is what we're going to need. Conveniently, we've already got all of that, so... Just going to do some minor adjustments here. Mitzi makes a crack about us not being able to fit in it anyway. And that's all we need. And so now we've got this final little scene here where we're going to play a really fun prank on the grouchy neighbor, and at the same time see if he's a serial killer. Not a very good plan, because if he is a serial killer, wouldn't he just be really angry about the prank, and then... Huh. This is a weird plan. Anyways, you lose control of the character for most of this scene. So he sees a silhouette of a cat, he comes back, and he sees somebody as painted Cat Killer on his door.
He hoped.
And somebody wrote a whole bunch of graffiti on his wall. So we do this in opposite order, these next two sections. We do need to do both, but it saves a little bit of time when we do it this way, because he comes to the final scene through a different entrance. Alright, so he's sufficiently spooked out now. And here we are in this black dress. Pulled back the hood, and we have a hockey mask on. And it's super scary. I don't think he's a serial killer. Probably not a serial killer. Nope. So, their search is over, I guess, because they checked all the apartments. And nobody there was a serial killer. Except they find a note on their door. That's like, oh, come to apartment number 5, I think? I think that's the one. At midnight, at this time. And, yeah. Bless you. Alright, so just another tiny little scene left in this chapter. Cool, I'm doing good for time. Doing really good for time. This developer has made a few other games. He's currently working on the 3rd game in this series. But the first one has to do with Jim and his wife. And this is kind of a callback to that. So we get this little scene of Jim, who was not the serial killer that we were looking for, but is actually a serial killer. Alright, so just chapter 7 left, and chapter 7 is incredibly short. Because we're basically going to go and confront the murderer. So we got all this ambient imagery. Gonna finally confront the murderer. It's gonna be the end of a saga. Stroke of midnight. Here we go. And this is the old man's apartment. The old man who we were pretty sure lives alone. There's a weird looking fish tank there. There's a weird door. Whole bunch of weird stuff here. And there's the old man. So he's going to tell us a whole bunch of stuff about his regrets and about his life, and then he's going to give us a box. And what's in the box? What's in the box? It's a gas mask. So this weird looking fish tank oh, that can't be good. Okay, so the air's filling up with toxic gas. And we've got a choice. We can put the gas mask on ourselves, or we could give it to Mitzi. And no matter how much we love Mitzi, it is super, super fast to put the gas mask on yourself and let Mitzi die. So, rip Mitzi. Alright, so we get kind of this weird sequence with this deer again. And we're going to have another visit with the Queen of Maggots. Just 'cause. So she's going to tell us that there's 2 candles left.
And that's it.
And we can have our life back, all the way back to normal, if we just blow out the right candle. But she won't tell us which one it is. So, in terms of speed, it is not beneficial for us to blow out that candle. So, instead of blowing out the right candle, we're going to blow out the left candle. Ha! It was a funny joke. Alright, here we are. And time is coming up in about a minute, guys. So, we're finally confronting this murderer who's been telling a whole bunch of people online just how to kill themselves and basically urging them to do it. He's not looking too good himself, though. He's got these oxygen tanks, stuck in a wheelchair. He's got this on-screen keyboard, though. Oh. Okay. So we're going to give him his wish. And time. And yeah, that's the cat lady. We got a pretty long ending sequence here, but I just want to give a shout out to my wife, Mrs. Kyon, behind me. Shout out to the other runner of this game, Big Man Japan. To Kaz Adorable for buying me my copy of this game in the first place. And yeah. So the next run, the next game after this is Yoshi's Story.